Hello everybody. This video is going to demonstrate the search functionality on the website for the Fasten Off Yarn Along 2020 event. And this is our main search page, which you can get to by hitting the search and shop option in our main menu navigation at the top if you're on desktop. And you have from this page two main options. Which reflect the two main databases that we have that you can search in. We've got designers and we have patterns. These are specifically the patterns from our participating designers, which are on discount from November the 25th to the end of December 5th Eastern Time. So I'm going to start with the designer search because it's a little more straightforward. So we'll start out with that. This is it. This is the page that comes up when you go here. And you'll also first notice that there is a random designer highlight here that highlights, again, randomly, one of our participating designers. So the designer will change pretty much every time you load this page. And this part of the screen over here is the place where you can start searching for designers. So when you first call up the designer search, you'll notice that everybody who is participating is listed here. We have 93 designers this year. And, in order to actually go to a designer's profile page, you just, you've got this whole big list in the dropdown and you choose somebody and you click go. And I'll demonstrate that in a second. But first I want to demonstrate a little more about this because you don't have to choose from just all of our 93 participating designers. You can filter this list a little bit by using our filter function. I'm going to click here. This is the filter. And the filter opens up. And as you can see, we can filter designers by the crafts that they design for. And if I change my mind and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to filter after all, you can just close the filter and click the filter to open it again. So as you can see, we have two options here and you can choose whichever ones you want. At the moment, of course, since we're showing all of our designers, both types of crafts are clicked. But if I, for example, just wanted to see crochet designers, then I would make sure that knitting is not clicked and crochet is, and I would hit apply. And you'll notice that I have much fewer results here because these are all of our crochet designers. But let's say I change my mind and I want to show only knitting designers. And now again, I have a fewer number of designers in this list because I have eliminated the crochet designers. And this is our list. Now, of course, what happens if I choose no crafts whatsoever, I'm going to get nobody because we only have crochet and knitting designers in our database. So if you choose neither of those crafts, you're not going to find anything. And that's why it says try broadening your search. So let's go and see everybody again. And you'll notice that every time I search, the page reloads itself and we've got a different designer highlighted over here. So I'm going to show you what the designer profile page looks like. I'm going to go to my own just so nobody accuses me of favoritism by picking one particular designer over the other. This is my own designer page. As you can see, it names me. It says what kind of patterns I design. If I have chosen to provide an image, it displays it. I've got links out to my patterns, little bio, my preferred pronouns, my social media. And then after that is the list of the patterns that are available during the discount period with the special event code for 25% off, again, until the end of December 5th Eastern Time. And you see that I have 21 of these, and then there's just a big list with pictures and everything. And they're listed in alphabetical order on the designer profile pages. And you'll see just a little snippet of information about each pattern that'll give you an idea of like, are you interested? Are you not? And then you can click through to actually buy if you or find out considerably more if you are interested. So that's the designer search. So now we're going to take you through the pattern search, which is more involved and a little more complicated. So unlike the designer search, you don't see a whole bunch of options already when you load up this page. And the reason for that is that we have over 2,000 patterns, and it would be a great big page load if we just dumped it all on you as soon as you hit this search page. And remember, all the patterns have images, so nobody's going to appreciate that kind of time suck, and nobody's going to appreciate it, especially if they're on mobile and using their data plan. Not a good idea. So you have control here. And again, this is where you can start filtering your results. So we're going to start with the filter. And again, this opens up the filter. If you change your mind, you can close the filter. You can open it again at any time. You can see that we have 3 things that you can filter patterns on. You can choose which crafts you want for the patterns that you want to display, what category the patterns are in, or who the recipients are. So these are the options. Does it come in adult sizes, children sizes, baby sizes? Are they patterns for the home? Are they patterns for pets or other animals? Now you'll notice here that for the second and third categories, or the second and third filters, I should say, that at least one option has to be selected here. Because if you choose, no categories whatsoever, that's none of our patterns. And if you choose no recipients whatsoever, again, that's none of our patterns. So you've got to choose something here and here. And as you can also see for each of these 2, you can select multiple options. So you can choose to search for patterns that are for both children and babies, or adults and pets. And up here in pattern crafts, you have 4 choices. You can choose for any craft, i.e. doesn't matter. You can choose only crochet, only knitting, or that rare beast, patterns which use both knitting and crochet. And then this here, again, you can select multiple options on categories. And this is what I think is tripping up a lot of people, because most of us are not used to multiple selection drop-down boxes in inputs. And the reason that we haven't provided instructions on how to interact with this input is that it changes very substantially depending on what kind of machine you're accessing the website from. So for example, I am on a PC, and if I want to select multiple options, let's say I want to select a blanket and I also want to select footwear, I press the control key and then click on it, and it selects both of them. But for example, Mac users don't have a control key. Although I do understand from talking to Mac users that the command key plays the same function. However, on my personal mobile device, when I click this input to start choosing categories, I don't get a multiple select dropdown at all. I get a list of checkboxes. So everybody on their own machines has a different way that they need to interact with this particular input. This, however, is more straightforward. It's just checkboxes. It's always checkboxes. And again, you have to choose at least one. So I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to choose, I really want to winnow down the database. So I'm going to choose one particular craft, and I'm also going to choose one particular category. But I'll choose, all of them here. And then I can hit apply to start searching. But the other thing that I want to point out to you that you can do is you can customize how your results are sorted by clicking the sort icon, and then you can see the sort opens up. And again, I can close it anytime I want, open it anytime I want. And you've got several choices here. You can choose alphabetically, A to Z, or Z to A. And you can choose to sort by price, low to high or high to low. And then if you want to let fate decide, you can just ask it to sort randomly. So you'll see like everything all jumbled up, and it'll be different every time. So let's look at, let's say, price high to low, right? Let's say you're a big spender and you want to see all the expensive stuff first. And then I'm going to apply. And then it gives me 27 results. So these are all of the discounted patterns in our database from participating designers that are crochet and blankets for anybody. And you can see also that we have successfully searched high to low for prices, right? So all the more expensive stuff is up here. And then as we kind of go down, you'll see the less expensive stuff is near the bottom, right? And if I wanted to change that search and go maybe A to Z alpha, now you can see that it's actually sorted alphabetically. But if I go random, oops, not the filter, the sort. And you'll notice I can have both filter and sort open at the same time, or not, whatever you're actually trying to do. Let's go random. And now you can see there's no rhyme or reason. You're just seeing whatever, the 27 patterns in a completely random order. I'm going to filter even more. Let's look for only baby blankets. And now I get 4. And again, I'm doing random, so these are in no particular order. And that's it. That is how the search works. And I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, please comment on the video. Thanks.